Hey guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are back again with the spooky season because we're watching Midnight Mass, episode 4, guys.
Yes, last episode, miracles everywhere. People are happy, they're young again, or at least, you know, their ailments, back pain or bad vision, stuff like that. It's all going away. You've got the old woman who was basically losing herself in dementia. She's remembering her daughter. And we're sitting here finding that all very sweet, but then we know that a price probably has to be paid for this, so...
Only to learn that it's vampire.
Apparently it's vampires, yes. So we had the story of what happened to Monseigneur, basically, which is so weird to say when you're French. So you could actually say just Monseigneur.
Well, let's just say Monseigneur.
Yeah. So we found out what happened to him. He basically got lost on a path, you know, and he found ruins. And in those ruins, he found a creature he called an angel, but it's definitely a vampire. That thing bit him. Yeah, that thing bit him and drank his blood, and then heard him pray, and for some reason decided, you know what? Let's give him some of my blood. And then he was young again. And immortal, apparently, because it looks like the nitpicking woman, whose name I forgot. Yes, thank you. Looks like she might have been poisoning the priest.
I'm sure that she did.
Yeah. So, I mean, we saw her use the poison again, and then he fell ill, more and more ill, and then he just collapsed just like the dog did last episode, well, 2 episodes ago. So, yeah, poison. He apparently died, but then he came back to life thanks to the vampire powers. So, yeah, we're gonna have some explaining to do here, perhaps. And we did have a theory, which apparently seems to be true, that basically he's giving blood. When he's giving the wine, the holy wine, he's actually putting blood in that. So the people are actually drinking the vampire blood. That's why their ailments are going away.
True.
It's all done with a good intention, but the creature is out there.
Killing people, and we know that bad things gonna happen, and even worse bad things.
But that thing needs to feed, and who's to say that the priest won't have to feed eventually? Like, you had the theory that now that he's died once and come back to life,
he's gonna become like the creature, yeah.
Perhaps. So, I say we jump in this episode, see what they have in store for us next, because we're reaching the midway point of this series, and things are probably gonna start going wild. So yeah, let's see what happens. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when these episodes come out, and check out our Patreon for the full reactions.
Alright, let's do this.
Do we see her today? Oh, it's her? I thought you didn't want to know. I don't. I just want you to accidentally tell me. You do that? Don't do.
So this one is called Book 4.
Lamentations, yeah.
How are you feeling overall?
I hope nothing bad happens to the baby.
Overwhelmed. But otherwise, you know, mostly excited.
She did drink the holy wine, right? You think that maybe that's because of that?
Well, no, she wouldn't. It's alcohol.
Oh, true.
Is that okay?
True.
I thought we weren't supposed to use that too much. It's okay today. Where's the heartbeat? We're supposed to hear the heartbeat, aren't we? Here, let me see. Aaron, what do you see? Nothing. I mean it. I see nothing.
When?
I mean, there's nothing here.
When did it happen?
I don't understand.
She would have found out. She would have known.
In early weeks, people sometimes miscarry without realizing it. But as far along as you are, you would have...
Yes.
It would have been noticeable. Very noticeable.
So what the heck
And
happened?
you wouldn't have been the first person to go through something like this and maybe block it out, Aaron. But there's nothing...
But she would have blocked it out completely?
I'm going to put you in touch with a colleague on the mainland. She's a great counselor. Where's my baby?
That is really weird.
Yeah.
Something is happening, shifting inside of me. It's like I can feel God move inside me.
That's wonderful.
That isn't God. Far from it.
In their little community, there's absolutely no way they can understand what happened, make sense of it, or do anything about it. He's young again. He got resurrected.
Because of the sun?
Yeah. He can go in the light now. Like, people are gonna ask questions. I'm just waiting for the moment he needs to feed.
So anybody that drank the blood, if they die, they're gonna become vampires.
No, he got bit too. Maybe that you need to bite them.
Sometimes you just need to drink the blood.
So it would turn into an island of vampires?
Starting to
Oh.
think you don't really need help.
Let's do it again. Okay. What chores did you have to do growing up?
I kept the house clean.
What was my dad's name? Mom.
Your father's name was George.
What did he do?
He was a fisherman and then he joined the Navy. Would you like a cup of tea? I'm going to make some tea.
I mean, that's great. That's why it's so hard to see this.
Oh, she drank the only one. That's why the baby died. The baby disappeared. It's like she went back before the pregnancy.
She didn't drink the blood.
That's her blood. Her blood in the sun. She drank the holy wine.
So that means only drinking the blood would change them.
My mom.
Because, I mean, her blood just disappeared in the sun. So everyone who drank the blood would turn into the creature, I guess.
I have this, dream. I'm floating out in the middle of the bay. In the middle of the water, just gray water, morning water. The sky lightening as the sun's about to rise. And if I could just point the bow, find a wind or an oar, paddle with my goddamn hands if I had to a different shore.
But he doesn't know where to go.
The dream always ends at the sunrise. Always. I can never get further than that sunrise.
Kind of reminds me
The
of
more I have that dream, the more I just know that it's not
30 Days of
in
Night.
cards for me.
If you're talking vampires, we're talking a sunrise, then the dream stops when the sunrise.
Oh.
I'm thinking of 30 Days of Night.
Myself hope.
She remembers him from back in the
She
day.
said that you you're feeling better. Well, truly I say to you, if you have faith and never doubt, even if you say to this mountain, be taken up and cast into the sea, it will be done.
They're explaining everything through religion.
True.
So
But
no one is questioning this shit.
I think he's the daughter's father.
Yeah, you think? I had a.
Why
I had
would he
a
be looking
feeling
at her
too.
since our childhood?
She hesitated before too. I had a feeling that, yeah.
I think we all want so badly for there to be a reason. For everything and some justice and some comfort when we die.
Yeah, that's where religion comes from. That's the whole question.
So what happens when you don't die because you're a vampire?
What happens when we die? So what do you think? What happens when we die, Riley?
My body stops functioning. Just shut down. Maybe my brain releases a flood of DMT. It's a psychedelic drug released when we dream, so
Death could be a long
dream.
dream that never ends.
it's a curtain call. Dream to end all dreams. One last great dream as my mind empties the fucking missile silos and then I stop. Pain. No memory, no awareness that I ever was. That I ever killed someone. And I'm serving a purpose.
It's so fucking sad. With the music too, I'm like, fuck.
Your turn.
It was fucking sad.
What happens when you die?
It's kind of like he's saying everything that happens in death is what he can't find in life right now. What he was saying to her before.
Myself. I'm not the one that died today. She was never awake. She only ever dreamed. She didn't even have a name. And then in her sleep, that perfect little spirit just lifted up. And then for the first time, she starts to wake up. And she's not alone. She's home. And there are people there, and she doesn't know it, but they're her family. Her grandfather and her great-grandfather, and they love her. And they name her. And they tell her about her mom down here on Earth and how I'll be there soon enough. And she's happy. Nothing but joy for all eternity.
Both their versions basically mean the end of suffering, finding the
That's
purpose,
why we endure all that we endure.
despite how different they are. I don't know what to think about what she said when she says she's gonna go there eventually, because like if she never dies because she's a vampire, it's not gonna happen.
Is the fact that she said soon enough?
Well, because what is...
Did she mean
no, but I think it means...
in decades, or is she gonna do something
I know,
soon?
I have a feeling it kind of means that what's a life in the face of eternity? But then what's an eternity? Eventually he's gonna kill someone because he's gonna be too hungry. I do feel bad for him. You didn't ask for this shit.
Without even knowing what he did, he made a bargain with a demon.
No, he didn't. He didn't ask anything. The beast tried to kill him, and then he was praying.
Well, he did brought it back to the island.
Yeah, because it was an angel that could help his people. He's finding out the hard way that it's not helping. Their whole idea of life on Earth is that so you can find heaven after. But now his life is pure misery with no end in sight.
I'm sorry to disturb you. I'm sorry.
Which makes me think of the dream. Eternal wandering in darkness. And then when the sun comes out, you can't even find anything after.
I didn't drink.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anyone, but I'm proud of you. And I'm glad that you found strength today. Because I know that compulsion, that hunger, and I know how hard it is to fight against.
He's fighting it now.
So I'm proud of you.
Oh no! No!
Oh, boy. No.
God bless you.
He can't fight it. It's over. He's done.
Better late than never, right? I'm gonna go, all right? God bless you. What is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Stop it!
Yeah.
So sorry.
Do you think he's gonna just bite him?
He's gonna lick the blood off the floor.
Oh, Joe.
What the fuck? Shit. I feel so sad. Like, he was doing good. Straight in the head, too. Let's go.
Oh, shit.
Well, Joe is gone. I feel bad for both of them.
At least before he's dead, he tried to get better to fight his addiction. He got forgiveness.
I know,
from
but he had no
the girl.
time to actually keep going.
Father, you're almost a half hour late.
Oh.
But then she's gonna help. Like, it's everything to her. She's not gonna...
Yeah, but this is not holy. This is not God.
Yeah, I know, but her sense of morale is weird, so...
Wrap it up in the carpet. Put it in your truck. Take it to one of the empty houses on the West Bank. Do it now while most of the island is at church. And then tonight, late, tie an anchor to it and drop it 5 miles out.
This is not okay.
This is... What the hell did you do?
Fuck off!
The man who acts presumptuously by not obeying the priest who stands to minister there before the Lord your God, that man shall die.
She is justifying everything by, oh, he's the priest and stuff. Like, fuck off.
Do you have guilt in your heart for doing what you had to? Then ask yourself why God let that cup pass you by. And carry on.
Religion and faith are so dangerous. Too much power on the shoulders, you know, in that one person that represents everything to them. Oh. It's wearing the hat.
Where have you been?
Fill that back up. It's cool imagery though. And it's intelligent. It knows what it's doing. We're turning these people. Leave.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh man.
No! Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of
Fuck. This is not God's doing.
he's fuck this shit. Oh
Oh man.
no. So is he dead? Is he dead or is he gonna be turned?
I think it's gonna be turned because I think you were right about the sunrise.
The dream, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was talking about the sunrise, and since we were mentioning vampires and stuff and the sun, I had 30 Days of Night in mind. If you've never seen the movie, there is this thing about the sunrise and vampires.
You know what?
And, yeah.
I think that maybe things gonna end up in a tragedy and he's gonna end up dying on
Kill
a boat.
himself
Yeah.
and waiting for the
I
sunrise.
don't know if he's gonna try to purge the place because he wants to make things right and prevent them to killing other people.
But then so that means now he's gonna be one of those things.
I think
We're like episode 4.
We're
This is the main
almost done.
character. This is the main character. I
Oh,
said things
no.
were gonna, start, hitting the fan. Shit was gonna start, getting intense and stuff. And then the main character gets.
well, we should expect it because this is Mike Flanagan. He did Hill House,
I know.
Bly Manor, and it's horror show but tragedy
too.
in it also.
Oh boy. But then what's gonna happen next? The thing is, can we save everyone else?
I don't know.
That's because it was Erin's blood, right? And it burned. So that means that she's infected. Her blood reacted to the sun.
I think that she was like Monseigneur Prit was before. So if she doesn't die, she might be okay. I don't know if after a certain time the blood would just
I'm not
out,
sure.
so-
I think to turn you need to be bitten too, because that would be the difference.
But I mean, it depends on the lore and of the origin, because sometimes you just need to drink the blood to be transformed. You need to be bitten to be transformed. You need to have
the
both.
father was both bitten and then drank the blood,
And he
He's
died.
different. Now he died, and he's showing the signs, and he's getting worse and worse because he's craving the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have to start finding some everywhere. Like, it's such a small community, though. Like, it's gonna show as soon as he starts eating people. Like, Joe, it's not gonna be noticed that much because he was already an outcast. But others, they will notice. And now it's not... I mean, it depends. Riley could still be kind of like the priest was at first if he's been turned here. Like, if he's still alive and they just turn him and stuff, then he's gonna be kind of like the priest at first. He's gonna still be able to go out during the day, but he's gonna know that something's up. I mean, I'm guessing if he's alive, like, I mean, they could just fucking get rid of him and be done. But I kind of wish he's still alive because otherwise.
I think he's gonna be alive. Yeah.
So in that case, maybe just drinking the blood over and over again, because they're doing it a lot. Drinking the blood gives them kind of like the abilities, but then it's kind of like a drug. You can eventually get cured of it. Like, you can get rid of the addiction.
We just need to hope.
I hope so. I hope so, because it looks like the more they're doing it, the more, it's affecting them. In Erin's case, I wasn't, I was questioning it. I didn't remember, not that I'm paying much attention when they're drinking the wine, because we're
But I
usually,
think,
you know.
I think that she drank it when they did the mass after the miracle of
Maybe.
the
Because I just
the
assumed,
girl in a
like,
wheelchair.
I just assumed that as a pregnant woman, she would not even, you know, take a sip.
Well, some drinks
Sorry.
small amount of alcohol sometimes of
Yeah,
wine.
but still, like, I would have assumed that, especially with her mom's history and stuff, like, she would not have it. There's the fucking fly. Sorry. Even with, like, when you add to that the mom's history and that she's pregnant and that baby saved her life, the importance of that baby, I would have assumed that she would not even try to drink anything. But if she did, well, that's what made the baby disappear. I guess. Kind of like, oh, the body is going back to the pristine state of youth. Like the priest went back. Like, it's not just you get bitten at that age and you stay that age forever.
You
go back
to your pristine
state.
state.
Yeah, so you can be pregnant forever. So I would have assumed that it would have killed the baby, but then the body would have still gotten pregnant. So instead of just killing the baby and getting rid of it, it went back to a normal state. I've never seen that happen before, but it's a twist on the vampire story, I guess. But I guess that's what happened, which is weird. She's gonna have to deal with that and try to find a reason, and that's the theme of this episode.
This is even weirder because, like I said, we could have explained maybe a miscarriage.
Yes.
But just nothing at all.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The theme of this episode, as I understand it, is mostly, you know, when you are looking for, when you have faith, when you believe in God, and you're using religion as the reason for all the stuff that you can't explain, all the tragedies. We talked about this 2 episodes ago, I think, when he had his first meeting and he talked about religion and how, you know, I was talking about people that don't act when, you know, it's often in shows that inactivity being a kind of proof of faith, because you put everything on the shoulders of God. So you don't need to explain stuff yourself because God has his ways. You don't need to act because if it happened, God decided it was going to happen. Inactivity, I'm not saying it's in everyone, I'm not saying it's always present, but it's a theme that I see a lot in shows that talk about religion, most often Christianity. And again, in this episode, it's the same. It's the people that are seeing stuff they can't understand and they're just brushing it off as it's God. And the priest was talking about this, saying, you know, oh, we got to give ourselves, you know, not, sometimes it's fine to just be like, there's no need to find a reason. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you start, you know, justifying killing someone,
start hating your neighbors, I think you need to
question
it. Yeah.
But then, like, that's the thing. He is, if it wasn't for this, him justifying it by saying, oh, God must have wanted it, he would be so lost. He would be
but the thing is, okay, if you want to rationalize this by God's way, Mrs. Kane in the beginning said that God killed thousands of humans with the flood
she's crazy.
To wash over her sins. He killed the first newborns in Egypt. But if you think about it, with the plague in Egypt for the firstborn, well, firstborn.
It's Jason Bourne. Sorry.
He wanted to help.
Like, let me cut you off right here and say
this. But he did this to people who were sinners and doing bad stuff. But Joey, he was trying to better himself.
Okay, let me even go before that.
No.
The thing is, she used that as justification for, see, our God, he did stuff like that before, and he had his reasons, so this is fine. I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't fine back then either. You know, maybe his ways are a bit too intense.
Never.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I haven't been following Christianism, and we used to when we were kids because we had to, but we haven't been much into it.
We've heard the stories.
But we've heard the stories, and even then, I remember... for example, Noah's Ark, you know, Ark in English, I don't remember. Anyway, the story of Noah and how God made a mistake by killing everyone, and he was like, "Fuck, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, and I'm never gonna do that again."
Oops,
you know? No, but
did it again.
It's the thing, like the God that they talk about as being perfect, never, you know, questioning him, never putting him, you know. Never keeping him accountable for the stuff he does and saying, you know, this shit you did is probably bad. they make him perfect in their eye, and they love that. But then God has made mistakes before.
Some people are gonna say
So-
that no, he doesn't.
but he admitted it. So like he's not perfect, and but they like to think he is, and they're justifying
But,
everything
okay,
by that.
Doesn't we say that God made us to his image, and as human we're not perfect, so God isn't perfect.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So there you go. But they like to think he's perfect, so they're justifying everything that happens through religion. With her, Keen, I would say religion to her is not only a belief; it's her weapon. If all the stories we heard are true about her being becoming rich by asking people to give to the church, she's been using the church as a way to be in power, which is easy as fuck in a place like this where people are Christian, like through and through, and there's so little of them. It's so easy to get to everyone, know everyone, and manipulate them, and that's what she's been doing.
You know what? I think that she decided to play God in a little community because we know that's a fact that she poisoned a dog.
But then, like,
she
the priest
decided
thing-
that this dog was a monster or the belonging of a sinner. So I need to get rid of it.
her sense of morality is not
Yeah.
good because she believes that, kind of like the woman in Mist, she believes that she is God's instrument directly, so whatever she does, he agrees.
But that's the thing though, I still cannot grab the fact that she poisoned the priest.
If she did, because they're not addressing it. If she did, what happened is she killed him, and then she saw him be brought back to life. So now, like, she's seeing it as a direct sign that God is with that guy. She can't fight it. So instead of fighting it, she's gonna use that to ease the presence. What he did here, the miracles and stuff. People love that, and it's the greatest weapon she can ever find. So instead of manipulating it, she's gonna basically be behind it and help him. But that's worse because her voice is strong. She's good at convincing people and manipulating them.
Have you seen
two,
her?
she convinced two men, into trying to dispose of a body. Now they could be held accountable for this shit. By saying that God is good and God is always right, and you shouldn't question this shit. She should be questioning it, but she doesn't want to, because questioning it means putting in question, it means destroying everything she's built and relied upon.
And it is a hard thing to question your own beliefs.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about bodies, and he's drinking blood, and his son burns him.
I mean, okay.
Don't you believe in the devil? Like, can't you just tell that this is wrong?
I mean, if you know someone for a very, very long time and you enter their home and you saw that, I mean, I would have questioned myself. I would have tried to understand what happened and try to maybe help my friend. But it's just the way that she took everything and used everything for her own agenda that's just so wrong.
No, but she's seeing him as a perfect example of God being, doing his work. He brought him back to life. She's seeing that as proof of her faith and proof that she can use it whenever he's ready to talk about his resurrection, because he didn't want to at first, and she's like, okay, we won't talk about it, but she wanted to use it.
Yeah, but the thing is, she cannot understand that our view of God and his miracles is flawed, because like I said, I understand that God's gonna be not merciful to sinners and to people who do bad stuff.
And that's not
but with
necessarily
Joe,
true.
he's living in guilt for years. He's being forgiven by the little girl. He was trying to do
It doesn't matter.
better
No,
himself.
it doesn't matter who he killed. She would have found a way to justify it, no matter who he had killed. It was just easier with it being Joe because of what he did to the mayor's daughter, who was right there, being questioning this. So she used that as a weapon because she's a manipulator. She's good at that. And the fact is, she's going to keep enabling this no matter what happens until she gets killed, which I'm not hoping she dies. I'm not hoping anyone dies, but like, we're already past the limit here.
But I don't hope for her to die.
And like,
I just need for her to shut up.
Just like the priest, this stuff is happening to him, but then how can he reasonably say this is evil? Because he called that thing an angel that saved him, that gave him youth again, and basically saved a lot of people and helped a lot of people. Even then, like, he was praying not for God, he was praying for that thing to come back and help him. And he's looking at this thing like it's his master. He's loving it. So he can't call whatever this thing did to him evil. I mean, if anything, like right now he doesn't know what's going on.
I just
and
hope
he's,
that. Sorry, I just hope that maybe Red's gonna call him out on his bullshit.
because I mean, right now he can
if
do
he's-
shit. He can't do anything.
Not right now, but if he survives and if he's just transformed like the priest at the beginning, he's gonna know what bullshit it is. He doesn't believe really in God. He's not as faithful to God.
I will say
so
that I
he's more
think
rational in this.
the priest right now is struggling because his body is going through shit, through some stuff. He's feeling the hunger. He's adapting. It's not great. He did something bad, but then he did say he didn't feel bad about it because he was answering an urge that was given to him by that thing. If anything, like right now he's just a bit confused, but if anything, over time, he's gonna start seeing himself as, I'm becoming more like the thing I love. I'm becoming more like an angel. I was brought back to life and I'm an angel now, stuff like that. He's gonna see this as a good thing, which is bad, which is really bad. But I didn't think that we were gonna kick things up that much this episode. I'm really afraid Riley, unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna be fine. If he survives this, he's been bitten now. If he survives this, it means that they gave him blood. Because, he's draining him. The thing is draining him. So if he drinks blood, and even if he can go out and stuff, like as soon as he dies, it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
So he's never gonna be the same, and I'm questioning if the others are gonna be the same. Or if they're all gonna turn into an island of vampires.
Unless you need to kill the one that bites you.
Oh,
And
maybe.
in some stories it works.
Maybe, but then what's the point of the dream? Which I'm finding more and more accurate as we're
Yeah.
going through this.
I don't
And
know about that.
speaking of the speeches and stuff, like when he talked about his dream, that's
Yeah.
how beautiful was that scene. First of all, with the music, that almost made me tear up because
You love Titanic, so yeah.
well, it's not so much it's not the Titanic
Well,
music.
no,
but,
you love Titanic and you love the songs used in Titanic.
well, this
so
is an actual song though. It's not just Titanic music.
I know.
But it's some it's this, for those of you who don't know it, it's an hymn that you sing for those people who are lost at sea, which makes a lot of sense because he's
So
lost
fitting.
at sea in his dream. So the cats are fighting right behind the camera. I'm just waiting for one of them to fall on it. John is holding strong. It's not happening.
It's Simba's scar all over again.
Hey, stop it. Anyway, so both of them gave their idea of what happened to them after death. In both cases, it feels like the end of suffering. Whereas he's just wandering on Earth right now, not knowing what's his purpose, what he's meant to be doing. He's just existing. But it's bad for him right now because he's lost. For him, death is finally finding that purpose. Jesus. It's finally finding that purpose. It's finally belonging somewhere. It's basically the resolution of all his problems he's got right now, which is crazy because he's a vampire now, I guess. So he's gonna live eternally unless he kills himself in the sun. Which would be, I mean, if you think about, like, if this happens and he kills himself in the end, think about how his monologue here is going to impact the scene over there. Crazy. And then he's not talking about finding an eternal life, because life for him is hard, it's the disappearance of life, it's the becoming nothing that for him means being everything. Whereas for her, it's the continuation of a life that no longer has any suffering. But in both cases, it's you don't suffer anymore. But she gets to be with her loved ones, she gets to live on with them, she gets to be in the perfect idea of life.
Warm, safe place.
Yeah, whereas his idea of death is, I no longer get to have an idea of life because it's beyond me. I'm free of those shackles that life represent to me. So I thought it was both of them were amazing. Both actors just did a good job. The music was perfect, and the monologues were great. And I loved that scene so much. It almost got me teary-eyed, but I think that's because of the music. And then we got that shit with the vampires, and I'm like, fucking hell, yay! This is episode 4.
Yeah. We
Halfway
also got
through.
confirmed that the priest was the doctor's father.
Yes, but I mean, we didn't get confirmed, but it's heavily, you know.
Come on, it is confirmed.
No, it's not confirmed.
Okay,
It's
no.
heavily implied.
And really ended.
Yeah, because like even if it could be close to her because they both kind of grew up together and they've known each other for so
But-
long. But then the intimacy was intense.
Why would the priest stare at a little girl all her life? Why would he?
Stare at a little girl?
She said during the crockpot party outside that the priest was staring at her just like the old priest.
And she thought it was because he was judging her for being gay.
Yeah.
But in case it could have been that.
But
yeah.
he stared at her since she was a little girl. So that's creeps. But now I know that since
Makes
he's
sense.
really close to her mom, she
Yeah.
recognized him. She saw the face of her father in the window, so she saw the priest.
It's
I
true
guess.
because he's been, using
Well, she saw the creature's been using the father's
the hat,
image.
the
So
hat
she-
and the coat. So she thought she saw her father. Yeah, it makes a lot
So,
of sense.
come on.
Yeah, it's confirmed now.
Come on, he's her father.
Okay. But yeah, no, it was heavily implied. But then yes, the intimacy makes sense with the father thing. I forgot about that, but it's true, and it would explain the staring. So yeah, and then you got Joe saying also that he was frivolous,
really
in his,
promiscuous, and he's
no, he was running around and yeah, having some fun with the ladies when he was younger. So
well, at least one.
at least
At
one.
least one.
So it makes sense. Is she ever gonna learn about that? I don't know. But yeah, I mean they're men. You know, they're not.
They're human. So that.
Yeah, they're human exactly. So there you go. But yeah, good episode. Where are we going next? Like, what happens after
in
this?
a bloodbath.
Yeah.
We're gonna
sure.
go there for sure.
I want to see what happens to Riley, so we're gonna end this here and move on. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
Yeah, and if you don't, check our schedule on Community to see when the next one will be out on YouTube, guys.
Yes.
Probably this week. So
No, because this would be anyway. Check out Community with the schedule.
see you soon.
Bye.